thought I was finished. When I bought her ass tomorrow, y'all thought it was rented. Flexing on these, I'm like Popeye on the spinach. Double M, yeah, that's my team. Rose the captain, I'm lieutenant. I'm the type of can of men cast and grind like I'm broke. That Lambo, my new, she'll ride like my ghost.
Welcome. It's your boy TY, man. We live, man. Windy City Radio on WTST The Blaze. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We got a special guest in here. Patrick Walker Reese, man. What's up? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm honored to be here. I've been around TSU for a long time, and this is my first time behind the mic at WTST The Blaze, man, so I'm honored.
Bet. We got him in here, and we going to get into what he doing real quick. Before we do that, we want to go around the room, introduce everybody that's here, man. Let's go around the room, man. Who we got in here?
I'm April Baby, a.k.a. Squeakbox, a.k.a. the new brace face.
The new brace face. Who else we got in here?
Man, y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Groove, the black guy.
The black guy.
Yes,
okay. We got the nation in here.
Yes,
okay, and we know a lot of things been going on in the world, especially in Baltimore. So a little later on in the show, we're going to get into exactly what's going on in Baltimore. And, you know, we got the nation in there. We also want to get the views of Pat. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he a D brother. And so we definitely going to get into that. But before we get into that, man, we want to go on a quick break. Real quick, man. One song break type. So stay tuned. Windy City Radio on WTST The Blaze. We'll be right back. Hey, it's your boy TY. We in here. We had somebody missing on the intro, so we're going to let him introduce himself. Who we got in here, man?
Man, what's going on, everybody? It's the Smooth Criminal, your boy Chuck.
It's
Nice
the
signing in.
Smooth Criminal. He's signing in, man. We, like I said earlier, we got a special guest, man. My boy Pat Walker Reese, man, a former alumni of the school, SGA president, man, and an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And so we know you got your company, your brand going on, Aspire, Live to Aspire. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about that, man? How you got it started? What was your motivation?
Man, I tell people all the time, man. First of all, thank you for having me on. Anytime I get an opportunity to share my dream and my vision is definitely a special time. But Aspire was really born out of Tennessee State University. Tennessee State University was the first place where I realized that dreams come true every day. I had the privilege of being around some amazing individuals, whether it was Robert Higgins, you know, owner of the Weekend and Agenda nightclub, or DJ Crisis, you know what I mean, DJ Jazzy T, and just you know, just amazing people, Zach Boog, you know, Lorenzo, and not even just the people in the entertainment field. You know, I got a couple guys on Wall Street, Dr. Latham, Malik Bajis, and it was just a lot of people. Yeah, so. But when my initial interest was in the youth, so I was working with the youth, and I was doing some work in East Nashville for a couple years, and I was meeting students and I asked them, you know, what's their plans for life, and they would always say, oh, you know, Mr. Reese, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. And I'm like, you know, chilling don't get you nothing but broke. And so what I realized was not only were these students not dreaming, they didn't have a dream at all. And that was my initial spark. I was like, I want to travel. I called my mother. I said, I want to quit my job. I want to travel the world and teach people how to make their dreams come true. But before you can teach somebody else how to make their dream come true, you got to make your dream come true. And so at 25, I had this interesting realization. I had gathered this energy from the universe where I honestly felt like whatever I put my energy in, it was going to be fruitful. I just had to figure out what to put my energy in. And I told my guys, like, man, I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to be able to generate revenue by sharing my perspective on the universe and the way that I see it. And Aspire was born out of that. Aspire was born out of that. And the motto, dreams come true every day, came. And then we went Live to Aspire because we wanted to say that whatever your life is, you should live to aspire. Aspire meaning to direct one's hope. You know what I mean? Not to put you in a different space, but to take the hope that you have, you know, and direct it. And so that's where we are, man.
Man, live to aspire, man. You know. Man, we all inspired by you, man. And like I said, you were a former student and alumni at Tennessee State University. So
yeah, two times.
You got your bachelor's and you got your
I got my bachelor's in history 2010, and then I just finished my master's in public administration with a certificate in nonprofit management.
Okay, shout out to you, man. And we all, like I always tell people, man, we all striving to get our own organization, man. And I tell people all the time, man, what we need to do as young brothers is get our own stuff, our own jobs, you know what I'm saying, so we can build and we can get our family on and make sure that these kids dream. So my question to you is, while you was in school, man, what were some of the things you struggled with, man? Because we all know as a freshman, as a sophomore, we go through these struggles, man, and we get distracted. What were some of the things you struggled with in school, man? Tell me, man.
Well, I mean, I struggle with the day-to-day things that all college students struggle with. I struggle with time management. I struggle with exactly what I wanted to do. But honestly, if we being transparent, which I plan on being all night, I struggle with me. You know, and I struggle with who I was, and finding my identity in the midst of the everythingness of college. You know what I mean? And once I got comfortable in my skin, once I got comfortable with who Patrick Walker Reese was, then I was able to give that out in a very effective way to the world. And then the second biggest struggle I had, in the spirit of transparency, like all the young African American men, I struggle with women. That was my thing. It was so, I think when I was in school, it was like 8 to 1.
Okay.
It was 8 to 1.
Like 12 to 1 now.
Right.
Who knows, man? They just out here.
I'm sitting here with the smooth criminal, right? So I felt like when I was in school, if it was 8 to 1 on a regular day, if I'm a little smoother than you, I might get you an 8 too. So for any given day, it might be 16 to 1 for the average guy on campus, right? And so I say I struggle with that is because the books that I read when they talk about success, they say the best way to become successful is to eliminate options.
Okay.
And so if you're waking up as a man in a place and you have 16 options, it makes it hard for you to function, for you to really get focused, because as men we find ourselves trying to be something for that. And there's nothing wrong with being something for a woman, but you can't be something for 16 women. You can't be something for 8 women. You can't be something for 2 women.
Right.
Because if you're doing it right, it's hard enough to be something for 1 woman. You know what I mean? So between, you know, finding my identity in the midst of this place and then finding my identity with how I deal with our queens, those were my 2 biggest struggles.
Our queens. That's my man Groove's favorite word. Our queens. We gotta uplift our queens.
Man, it's mandatory.
It's mandatory, huh?
Yes,
and we try to do right, man, and we do see a lot of queens on here, and what we come to realize is we not really treating our queens right, man. What's going on with that? With the rapping going on right now, with the industry going on now, with the social media going on right now. Do you feel like it's an issue going on right now with how we treat our queens in retrospect to that?
You can only have a queen if you're a king, right? And you can only be a king if you truly aware with who you are and what you bring to the table. And so that's just the first step, you know, understanding those struggles. And so I'm working on a book right now. I got a series out on social media. So if you're on Instagram, you can follow me at Patrick Walker Reese, and you'll see I have a series called Pat Facts. And Pat Facts are quotes and descriptions that came from conversations I have with myself. Most successful people, I feel like, whether you're in the car, whether you're in the shower, or whether you're just on the phone, you have conversations with yourself. And so Pat Facts is a book that'll hopefully be releasing in the next 2 to 3 months, but it's a collection of those conversations with myself. And what I find is when you get in tune with you, then you can become a king. Then you can start to act like a king. And that's the only way that you'll even be able to recognize a queen, because even if she's a queen, if you're not understanding the king in you, you won't recognize that as that. You won't recognize that as that. And if she's not at that place in her life, she might not recognize it either. But like my man said, it's mandatory. It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to bring out the dreams in everybody we touch.
Okay.
Yes,
I feel you on that, man. We all kings. And what I find when I come to school, man, and I look on campus, man, I'm seeing a lot of guys, you know what I'm saying, pants still sagging. You know what I'm saying? Just dressed bad, you know what I'm saying? Going to school not caring. And when I look on campus, it's not that they don't want to learn, it's that they don't even care to learn. You know what I'm saying? When I tell them, I'm a part of the NAACP, I'm the vice president of the NAACP on campus that just got recharted last semester. Appreciate that, man. And when I roam through the campus, bro, I ask people, do you know what the NAACP is? No, I don't know what it is. You in college, you don't know what this is? And so when I look at what's going on in the world, bro, and I know what's going on is they're ignorant. It's a lot of ignorant people out here. So what I feel like we need to do is educate them.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, what's the best route right now to get to the young people? What is the best way to get to the young people so that they don't remain ignorant and we get educated so that we know what's going on and how to work around what's going on?
A lot of people gonna shun me for saying this, but first and foremost, the best way is education. Education is your one route to freedom, and it always has been since slavery, historically, however you look at it, education is a route to freedom. But when we talk about the youth today, it has to be social media. It has to be social media, and it has to be the internet. And I spend a lot of time dealing with educators who try to say the opposite, but that's the realm that our youth are finding their news. You know what I mean? 90% of the people that know what's going on in Baltimore right now, they know about it because of the internet.
Facebook,
they know about it because of Twitter. They know about it because of Facebook. So we do ourselves a disservice to not try to use that platform for change. The same way I feel about hip-hop and sports. One of our all-time goals for Aspire is to be able to use the dreams of hip-hop and sports to then flush back into our education system. Why? When I, for example, shouts out to Cody Sensabaugh, the Tennessee Titans, and his fiance Dominique. They do great things in the community, but that's one of the athletes that we work with on a consistent basis. He's been over to Maplewood High School for me. And so if I'm out of school for 6 weeks, week 1, I tell a kid, hey, man, this is what it takes to play football. This is the type of discipline you have to have. He can think or say whatever, but week 4, if I bring Cody Sensabaugh in, he's telling you this out of his own mouth. The kid looking at me like, oh man, this guy brought a Titan to my school. Right. He was really serious about this. And so we want to move our company to the point where we're able to build partnerships with the Steph Currys, build partnerships with the James Harden, go to Houston. Because what we find is, because as when we talk about it, we always say, man, we need our athletes and our rappers to go change the community. That's not their job. That was never their dream. I can't be upset with Floyd Mayweather because he didn't take his $74 million and go back into the community. But I can build a platform that's relevant enough to Floyd. He'll give me $2 million for a school. Why wouldn't he? If I get on his radar. You see what I'm saying? But I can't go to him begging and panhandling. I gotta get my PhD. He's at the highest level of his field, so I gotta be at the highest level of my field before we even cross paths. You understand what I'm saying?
You gotta notice you.
And so that's what, to answer your question, education first and foremost, but understanding that education for our youth today isn't gonna look like what it looked like back in the day. We have to educate through the forms that they're using on the day-to-day. And that's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that, Snapchat, all of that.
Real quick, man, we getting into some heat right now, man. Patrick Walker, Reese, your boy T.Y. Groove, Chuck, April, baby, we in here. We're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into some of the things he's currently working on, and then we're going to get into some future tips. So y'all stay tuned. Right now, we got Future coming up, and we also got Lil Durk, man. Y'all stay tuned.